I think most of us Mario Party fans out there can agree that the majority of the fun from playing the Mario Party games comes from the wide variety of mini-games from each installment over the years. So today I wanted to go over the best mini-game from each Mario Party game. Yeah, every single one. So the way I try to go about deciding which mini-game to pick is a combination of what I find very enjoyable as well as ones that I've seen across various rankings and polls or articles from video game related websites. Of course, don't be a stranger to let me know what your favorite mini-games are in the comments below, especially if it ends up being, wildly different from the list I'm about to present here. I would love to know your thoughts. And if you're new to the channel, don't be a stranger to hitting that subscribe button with the notifications turned on for more Mario or Nintendo related gaming content like this in the future. But anywho, let's get into the first entry. Kicking it off with the game that started it all, Mario Party 1's Mushroom Mix-Up. I was very happy to see this minigame brought back in Mario Party Superstars. It's such a great 4-player minigame that at first may seem pretty simple, where you just need to make sure you're on the correct color the toad sign has. However, things will start to speed up more and more, requiring very quick reaction time to make sure you stay above the water. With even a little bit of strategy involved to get other players to mess up by ground pounding on their heads, which will stun lock them to a point where the water will just take them if the water's moving fast enough. Mario Party 2's minigame goes to Bowser's Big Blast. I feel like this one is another fan favorite for sure, although I'm personally not the biggest fan in the world of the Mario Party games that are pure RNG like this one. Bowser's Big Blast gets a pass just because of how hilarious it is, coupled with the fact that it really gets your heart racing. The few second window when you press the lever down, not knowing if the countdown will start or if steam will come out of the Bowser head nose, the stakes just feel really high with how the minigame is designed that even though I know it's pure RNG, I can't help but feel some kind of satisfaction whenever I win in it. And the same goes for the buddies I've played with in Mario Party over the years. For Mario Party 3, we have Chip Shot Challenge. Now, I might not be the biggest golf head in the world personally, but as a guy who comes from a family of extreme golf lovers and players during the warmer seasons, I felt like I'd be doing a disservice to my family if I didn't include this minigame. In all seriousness though, it's really fun. The way the course isn't always the same every time you play the game prevents the game from being too easy. You really gotta treat it like a real game of golf in certain ways. If the hole is on a slanted hill, you can't just aim the ball directly at the hole. I think the only small gripe I have with it is if the person before you gets really close, you can just slightly correct what they did afterwards and almost get a guaranteed hole-in-one. Dungeon Duos is probably in my personal top 5 minigames of all time, to be honest with you. This incredible minigame from Mario Party 4 is a gauntlet dungeon race 2v2 minigame that has you utilizing almost every button on your controller. Mashing B to lower the blocks, X and Y for the platforms, and jumping to the platforms, and of course L and R to inflate the balloon for your escape. Coupled with the music track that plays, which makes you feel like you need to be moving as fast as possible or you're doomed. The official name for the track being called Hurry Hurry further adds to this. I'm so glad it got remastered in Superstars. Mario Party 5's Manic Mallets is another 2v2 minigame with a much simpler execution to it than Dungeon Duos. You simply just mass A faster than your opponents in a set time period or you'll be crushed by a giant mallet. I've always been a big fan of the Mario Party matching games. I think the reason this one has the slight advantage over ones like Domination from Mario Party 4 for me is the way the giant hammer continues to rise while the time gets lower, ever so slightly leaning back and forth to whichever team is doing worse in that moment in time. Makes me feel like my life is on the line in the middle of it. If you couldn't tell, I really like the high stakes feeling minigames. Snow Twirled from Mario Party 6 has to be one of the most competitive minigames from that installment at the very least. I remember when I first played this game as a kid, I just did the typical tapping of each button individually, but after learning the tech of rolling your finger over the controller for this game, it felt so sweaty, but I love it. You know those videos out there of people putting a cloth on their finger to make it easier to roll over the buttons? It's hilarious. But I also gotta respect the grind, honestly. The way the models turn if you do it fast enough is just so satisfying to watch too. I'm giving the Mario Party advanced spot to Cloud Climb. Definitely not the biggest fan of this installment, but Cloud Climb was a solid minigame. The premise was very similar to that of Leaf Leap from Mario Party 5, which I liked a lot. This one even having a bit more going for it, with the player needing to dodge some amps along the way, or the occasional springboard that will make you go even higher into the sky. Pogo A Go Go takes the spot for Mario Party 7's minigame. The first 1v3 minigame on this list so far too. I'm not the biggest fan of 1v3 minigames because it feels like a lot of them can feel super one-sided to either the one or the group of three. Like that Piranha Plant skateboard minigame, I have never in my life seen the group of three win that, never. However, Pogo A Go Go has always felt pretty even on both fronts. The person in the middle can rotate the platform back and forth while the other three have to avoid falling into one of the many holes scattered throughout the main platform. It's mainly the way the holes are scattered throughout in such a random pattern combined with the speed of the rotations that makes it feel like a very fair 1v3 minigame. And who doesn't love jumping on pogo sticks? Double Vision serves as the Mario Party DS rep for the list. As a youngin', I always took pride in my ability to trace or draw things in the DS PictoChat game, so for Mario Party DS to have a 2v2 minigame that truly put my skills to the test was very fun. It rarely got stale either because you could draw 4 different enemies, those being Goombas, Cheep Cheeps, Boos, or Wigglers, and it's not like you had the same color every time either. It was good stuff. For Mario Party 8, I'm gonna give it to Shake It Up. Even though I played Mario Party 8 pretty late after its initial release, the Shake It Up minigame was always advertised in the commercials for it. And I don't know what it was about that minigame in particular, but it always had me intrigued whenever I saw those commercials. Let me tell you, I wasn't disappointed either when I actually got to play it. I know people like to meme on the Wii using motion controls too much, but you gotta admit it made sense in this instance. You have to shake a soda can to make it explode, and the way you shake the Wiimote is in the exact same motion and or position as you would treat a normal soda can that you wanted to fizz out. Plus, it just feels very similar to a mashing game since it's all about speed, and mashing will always have a special place in my heart. Bombard King Bob Omb is definitely one of the few shining stars for Mario Party 9. Actually, all of the boss fight minigames for Mario Party 9 are pretty solid. It's just something about the King Bob Omb fight just sticks out a bit more for me. Probably because he's one of the few bosses in that game that aren't just bigger versions of regular enemies. Deciding the winner can be somewhat RNG, but there is some strategy involved. You can't just go for the biggest Bob Omb to throw at him every time because players will bump into each other if they choose the same one, preventing either of them from attacking altogether. So you either gotta decide amongst yourselves who picks what, or mind game your friends if you want to be the main damage dealer in this fight. I was definitely not a huge fan of both the 3DS Mario Parties, but if I had to choose a minigame from Island Tour, it would have to be Go with the Flow. Main reason I like this minigame so much is it's one big Super Mario 64 reference. You must keep bringing baby penguins to their mother by maneuvering across blocks of ice. Falling into the water hinders your progress a bit, but doesn't mean you're completely out of the race either. I can appreciate the pun name too, with the word flow being spelled as the same as an ice flow, which is technically what you have to move across in the minigame. Mario Party 10's best minigame goes to Rapid River Race. This game really puts your reaction time to the test. You have to make sure you're going as fast as possible to, cross first, but you also need to avoid the various urchins spread out across the water. Sometimes you'll need to move over 2 lanes going at max speed, and you need to have literal perfect timing if you don't want to get hit in an instance like that. You really got to be dialed in and hunched over to win this one. And definitely a smart choice to have added it to Superstars. I think we can all agree Mario Party Star Rush is the weakest installment in the Mario Party series, but I can at least say Fruit or Foe is decently fun. It's pure RNG, but parts of the gameplay remind me of how Long Claw of the Law works in Mario Party 4, and that's a minigame I really love, so I can at the very least give it that. Finally, the Super Mario Party representative is the minigame Just for Kicks. This minigame is essentially a diet version of Super Mario Strikers. How could I not have it on the list, Although it's somewhat like a 2v2 minigame, other NPCs of the other playable characters in the game can be part of your team. It wouldn't be nearly as fun, in my opinion, if they just slapped some different colored toads on there, There's no AI goalie like there is in Strikers either, so making sure your goal stays safe requires a lot more skill and teamwork to get done. Maybe this would have been asking for too much, but it would have been so dope if there were 2 other map designs that this minigame could have been played on instead of just the jungle-themed one, but beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Well, that just about covers everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't be a stranger to hitting that like button if you enjoyed the video too. But for now, I will see you guys next time. Peace out, take care, bye-bye.